Welcome back to the show. Our next guest is Assemblyman Don Guardian of New Jersey's 2nd Legislative District. Don, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Great to be here. Great to have you back in Jersey.
It's great to be back, and I want to thank you for filling in as guest host on the WOND ACMike Show. Appreciate that.
It was a lot of fun. I think I'd rather take your place in Puerto Rico than in Linwood, but thank you.
I appreciate you. Listen, Puerto Rico was fantastic. I need to get there more, especially with the name ending in a Z. It's only been the 2nd time I've ever been there.
You're kidding.
It's another discussion for another time, yes. But.
So, I was lucky. Lewis was flying for Spirit Airlines. They flew down there. So probably every other week we'd fly free, standby to Fort Lauderdale and then on to Puerto Rico and stuff like that. So we were there usually 20 times a year, 25 times a year for about 7 or 8 years. So we loved it. Loved it so much that after the hurricane, I actually went back with Rotary and we went house to house with water distribution programs and gave people water.
Maria,
after Maria, this was Memorial Day, so it was 6 months later. No electricity, no water, rats in the streets and things. People still with dysentery, unable to take the things we take for granted, like an antibiotic. So when we get a flu, you get the antibiotic. You whine about being in bed for 4 days, but you don't die. Right. So so it was a nice little give back because Puerto Rico's been very good to us.
And that's you and Lewis what you do. But again, thank you for doing that as well. Beautiful place. And again, next time I go, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more because I'm sure you got the great spots.
My favorite fort. It's the only fort that's alive. If you go in the rest of the world, they said, in this spot was, and then they describe it. But in Puerto Rico, you're walking on the same steps that the conquistadors walked on to protect the island and to protect all of South America and Central America for Spain.
Amazing the history that's there, and
great history.
It's right there and it's still able to be attained by us. So bringing it back to South Jersey, the Jersey Shore, specifically Atlantic City, Atlantic County. Before we get into that, Don, let folks know here on the program, know you a bit. You've been a guest on my radio show and many radio shows and throughout TV as well. But first time here, let them know about you because very vast. I don't think we have enough time for sure, but go ahead.
I'll try to make it short. I was born in Christ Hospital in Jersey City. I lived in the town of West New York, New Jersey until I was 11. We moved to Palisades Park in Bergen County after that. I went to Don Bosco Prep, which is up in Ramsey, New Jersey, and then came down to what was then Uppsala College in East Orange, New Jersey. After that, spent 5 years in Ocean County with the Boy Scouts of America. With them, they transferred me up to Morristown, and I carried Morris County and Sussex County for 10 years. And then I came down to Atlantic County in 1989, fell in love, and have been here ever since. I went from the Boy Scouts, believe it or not, to an executive position with the Claridge Casino. Wow. Kind of a big switch, Boy Scouts, casino life and things, but a wonderful opportunity at the Claridge. One of their gripes was that the casinos have been here more than 10 years. They tripled the budget for the city, and yet the streets still weren't clean. They didn't have an ambassador program. They didn't have special events. They weren't taking care of parks. Lighting was a problem. And so I was part of the casinos on the boardwalk in establishing what was the Special Improvement District. And then I really went there as a loaned executive from the Claridge. I only intended to be there for a year or less, but they offered me to stay on, and I did, and I stayed there for another 18 years until it became part of CRDA, and then I became a mayor of Atlantic City. And when I finished that, I went up to Toms River as their business administrator. So had both an urban and a suburban feel, and then decided to run for the Assembly, and won 2 times now. So I'm in my 3rd year and actually loving it. Made a lot of friends, Democrats and Republicans, North Jersey and South Jersey during my time as mayor. and just find everybody now just very congenial. And it's not so much like North Jersey doesn't like South Jersey. They just don't know about it. So they don't understand about beach replenishment, about the amount of flooding that we have, that 50-mile-an-hour winds are kind of the norm for a nor'easter, and we get them a couple of times a year, and that our urban areas share the same issues that urban areas all over New Jersey have, and English as a second language provides a different challenges for our school systems, and we have a homeless situation that's tied in with both substance abuse and mental health that we need to address, and then from that we move into the suburbs where people are complaining that they can't afford to live here because of costs, because of taxes, and then we have rural areas. We have great farms, Hamilton, I mean the blueberry capital, and we have a very abundant sea life and a good fishing opportunities as well as clamming and crabbing off of the Jersey Shore. So that's kind of the short life. I never wanted to get into politics. I just don't trust politicians. I'm thinking like they don't do any good. They just collect money. And so I spent my whole life after college belonging to non-government organizations, NGOs. And I would usually stay about 5 years, and I picked 2 or 3 at any given time. Usually was president at some point. So that goes from the Rotary Club in Atlantic City to establishing the Lighthouse, to helping build Gardner's Basin, to being part of the Boys and Girls Club, to being on the Chamber of Commerce, to being with the MBCA, to being with the South Jersey AIDS Alliance. So I picked 2 or 3, and I'm still active with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. Denny has appointed me twice, and I love being part of that. And the work we can do in really building public structures, public buildings, and things.
It's a vast background, and it's prepared you for what you're doing now, where most people would probably be, or Lewis would probably tell you, be done with it. But it has prepared you to take this next step. And being mayor of Atlantic City, also working with the Special Improvement Division, it's where I got to meet you as well. Yeah. But that has all prepared you too, as far as this county, District 2. Listen, you touched on it. Everything from golfing to residential to rural to city life. So it's a unique area, and with so many things to do as well. Talk to us about that, the advantages we have here.
Sure. So obviously we have a slower pace of life. Now I'm telling you that because I'm from North Jersey and things like that. So I don't think I've met anyone down here that thinks I talk slow. I'm the only one that has slowed down my speech to fit into the area. I think we have a wonderful climate. I love the beach. I love the boardwalk. I love the cultural diversity of Atlantic City. 24 hours a day, we can eat whatever we want there. I love the fact that Atlantic County is so diversified as well. And I also realize that we like to put all our eggs in one basket. So it was always tourism, and then we somehow decided that 10 or 12 casinos was going to be the saving grace. We don't need anything else. We learned our lessons there. And so looking at just announced the wonderful concept for the next 6 years and beyond of Atlanticare expanding out beyond what they're doing now and becoming a wonderful regional medical center with a school, and then coming out with some wonderful goals that they're setting. They want to increase life for people living in South Jersey by 5 years. They want to reduce the amount of homelessness we have by 20%. And they have the mental faculties that are able to actually provide those services. So what Denny, meaning Denny Levinson, is doing at the airport is brilliant, expanding the ability for us to be planning for the next generation of air flight. And the first building is up and running and packed, and the second building is almost sold out, and it's just under construction right now. So I think that's very important too. And then Stockton, where we're sitting here, both at this campus, although the limitations are now being reached because they're part of the Pinelands, but expanding to Atlantic City and then tying in with Atlanticare for future graduate programs and for bringing in third and fourth year students that are going on for their doctorate, for their to become doctors, I think is part of the way we need to go. The issue always is not forgetting the people that we have. So, yeah, we need to create the $100,000 a year jobs, because that's what you need for a family to buy a home, which is what we want people to do. We got to be able to take care of people that decide that they're not going to continue their educational program for financial reasons or because they just don't want to. And so we just have to do a much better job of providing the skill set that individual kids are going to need, so when they graduate from high school, they actually have the skill set to get a job. So we have very strong unions in South Jersey. They have an open door in wanting to bring new students in. And I got to compliment the county on the County Institute of Technology. It's just way beyond what we thought of the place you went to have shop and things like that. Yeah, they're really, they're designing building, they're doing engineering, they're doing ballet, they're doing theater and things. So it really opens up a child's mind at a very early age, you know, at first year in high school, to see what the future benefits are. So, you know, I'm not the mayor anymore, so I need to work with the mayors in my district and with the councilmen and with the county executives in seeing where they want their municipalities to go and to go help them on a state level to make sure we have legislation that supports them, or that we have additional funding that helps them out. So whether it's funding, as we've done the last few years for Stockton and for Atlanticare, or it's the $100 million a year that we're doing in road repairs all over the county, or it's, you know, very direct, that $1,500 to encourage people to buy a house, and we're going to give them $1,500 toward their ability to pay taxes. And I'm very, very supportive in this year's budget, as we did last year, of putting in another $200 million with the goal by 2026 of being able to have senior citizens, those over 65 years of age, to not only have their taxes frozen, but actually to pick up 50% of their property tax on their residential home up to about $6,500.
Listen, we got about a minute left, and I appreciate you, and we're definitely going to continue this with more time. Where they can find you to the office as well, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're right on Montpelier and Atlantic Avenue in Atlantic City, and we're in front of Produce Junction out in Egg Harbor Township. It's our 2 office where Vince Palestina, our senator, our Assemblywoman Claire Swift, and I operate. We have wonderful staffs, and you know, the staffs, they provide concierge services to our constituency. But you know, things like help with making sure that you're not having problem getting your unemployment check or your driver's license, or in some cases, helping you get on a medical plan if you don't have one, or getting into other programs. So some things the state doesn't do, but we're knowledgeable of what the county and private organizations are doing, so we refer a lot of people. We're talking about 5,000 to 6,000 people a year that stop by our offices, so we're very lucky to have a very dedicated staff that really wants to help people that are in need. And as you'd appreciate in Atlantic City, our staff, of course, speaks English and Spanish, but we speak Mandarin, we speak Bangladesh, we speak Hindi, because that's what the people that are visiting us speak as their first language, and we want to make sure they're comfortable, especially as they need services. So, you know, I thank you. As newspapers have slashed, and as we're all cutting down our cost for providing services, we're not getting the daily newspapers and the daily news we got in the past. So I thank you for everything you're doing, and thank God for local radio for providing a direct information at the exact time that we need it.
No, and I appreciate that too. Like you said, just trying to keep it live and local, letting the folks know where they go, and to have folks like you who just don't come around sometime in September and October to vote. You can find Don Guardian, Assemblyman Guardian, Claire Swift, Vince Palestina, pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
I appreciate
you.
that. Absolutely.
So, hey, folks, I want to thanks again Assemblyman Don Guardian of New Jersey's 2nd Legislative District for being on today's show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.